Welcome back, everyone. If everyone could please settle back in, and we'll enjoy the rest of our evening of honors. Who's having a good time so far this evening? This is a great party, isn't it? Well, we want to resume our celebration by taking a moment to recognize some standout markets that led the nation in their fundraising efforts. Their ability to raise more funds in 2018 was awesome, and it'll allow us to accomplish even more. We've awarded the Market Performance Award to 4 different markets. They're measured by fundraising performance in their respective market size based on population. So these local markets are fueled by passionate volunteers and staff members who go all out to raise the most controllable revenue, meaning special events, personal giving, and corporate sponsorships. So when I call your market name, please stand at your table to be recognized. First, in the small market category, our big Hawaii 5-0 claims the honor. Next, in the medium market category, let's recognize our volunteers and staff in the Central Ohio and Columbus market. And in the large market category, the top fundraisers were in Washington State. And finally, the major market category, where passionate volunteers and staff raked in $1.7 million, the Los Angeles market. Great work to all of you. Thank you so much for being committed volunteers for the arthritis community. We want to continue now with this evening's Champion Awards, honoring volunteers who've demonstrated excellence in leadership and their determination to further our mission. Dr. Mark Box has been a great friend of the Arthritis Foundation for more than 20 years. Dr. Box is perhaps best known and most respected rheumatologist in the Kansas City area, and a compassionate champion at every turn. He advocates on behalf of people with arthritis, supports our educational programs, and reaches out to corporations to fuel our research and our resources. Since 1997, Dr. Box has given more than $250,000 to our cause. He also supports events like the Art for Arthritis Gala and Auction, regularly donating premium floor seats to concerts by Elton John, Billy Joel, Lady Gaga, and others. He also donates premium seats to Kansas City Royals and Kansas City Chiefs games. In the world of rheumatology, Dr. Box opens new doors everywhere he has a connection. Dr. Box is the epitome of connectivity and engagement in the arthritis community. He serves as chair of the Arthritis Foundation's local leadership board and has had a profound impact. Generous, but humble, and very passionate about the cause, Dr. Box extends our reach to help people with arthritis live their best life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to this devoted champion of yes, Dr. Mark Box.
I want to thank the Arthritis Foundation for this honor. I especially want to thank my local leadership board and especially our executive director, Steve Rock, for their support. Because without Without the local leadership board, without the volunteers, there's nothing for me as a leadership chair to do. I really need their support and really appreciate it. I've treated patients with arthritis for nearly 30 years, and I've served on the Kansas City board for nearly 25. I've really seen the Arthritis Foundation go through a lot of ups and downs, but I still feel like the Arthritis Foundation is the premier organization that advocates for my patients, because that's one of the most important things that I can see as someone who goes out there to advocate for the patient. I've tried to live my life and conduct my career by really two simple dictums. One is the first is, there but for the grace of God, go I. Because to me, it means to treat all with dignity and respect, to think of people, to listen to people, to help those people out around me. The others are words from another physician, St. Luke. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall much be required. The AF has allowed me the opportunity to give back to the arthritis community through not just dollars, but through education and advocacy. And I thank you so much for this wonderful honor.
Thank you, Dr. Box, for your leadership and for your generosity. Now, for our final champion award this evening, we're honoring the 18th annual California Coast Classic Bike Tour. It offers a unique and majestic experience for bicyclists along the beautiful Pacific coastline. Riders pedal more than 500 miles over 8 days from San Francisco to Los Angeles. And in 2018, the event raised more than $1 million to fight arthritis and pursue a cure. Now, to give us a little sense of what this amazing fundraiser is really like, watch this short video.
My name is Annie Young. I was not a cyclist when I started the ride. I wanted to do something that was impossible. I didn't even own a bike, so I didn't even know how to do it, but I just jumped in.
I'm Mark Massey. My friend Scott Cooper invited me to ride my unicycle on this ride in 2006. This year, I'm getting older. I brought it with me, so I rode it for a short time on this ride, but you know what? Riding a bike is a heck of a lot faster.
My grandson was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis at the age of 3. We started a team called Team Carter, and we've been riding in his honor ever since.
My name is Dee. About 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with a form of rheumatoid arthritis called ankylosing spondylitis. And I was looking for an outlet because I used to be a runner.
Darren Gonzer, been with the ride for 18 years.
Hi, and my name is Mary Gonzer. I'm married to Darren.
My main reason for being out here is we're riding for a cure. We want to find a cure for arthritis, for the 300,000 kids that have arthritis, and for all of the adults.
So this makes my 11th year volunteering. So I support him, I support all of our riders. I recently have been diagnosed with some forms of arthritis as well, so I feel that they are riding for me.
I think the most gratifying part of the ride is the fellowship and the community and the people.
I would say the people, all the wonderful people that are here. And
Just to see the same people come back year after year with their dedication and their drive to raise money for the Arthritis Foundation to help find a cure, it's amazing.
You could tell by watching that it's a truly fun and breathtaking event, figuratively and literally. Now, tonight we have 3 special champion awards to hand out for this classic biking event, and to announce the recipients, I want to welcome to the podium Dennis Ailing, who's a member of the California Coast Classics Leadership Council, which works in partnership with the Arthritis Foundation staff to create a memorable ride every year. Dennis also serves on the executive committee of the Foundation's National Board of Directors. Dennis, it's all yours.
So I warned Ann before I stood up today that I threw the script out, so I'll try to be good, but I'll also go a little bit off script. Forgive me for that. We're going to honor three very, very special people tonight, and they're people who I have had the great fortune of getting to meet because I decided I wanted to ride a bike 13, 14 years ago. But this bike ride started 18 years ago, as you may have heard. And 18 years ago, one person signed up first. His name is Darren Gonzer. Now, Darren signed up first, and so therefore he got to be rider number one. Our rider numbers mean something to us. We guard them jealously because they mean our level of commitment, how many years we've been coming back. And Darren has had rider number one forever because he has been on every single ride we've done for 18 years straight. Now think about that. That's 500 miles, 18 times. You do the math. That's about 9,000 miles that this man has ridden for our cause. And my first ride about 13 years ago, I was honored. I was riding along on the first day, and the first day's hard. It's a long day. You have no idea what's in front of you. And I'm coming along, and just coming out of San Francisco, and it's actually misty, and everyone's nervous. I ride up next to Darren, or more, he rides up next to me. That's the way this works. And I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I'm riding with rider number one. Boy, I must not be bad at this. And he was chatting with me, very, very friendly and comfortable on his bike. And I'm thinking, okay, I can handle this. Then we get to this little hill in Daly City that kind of goes like this. And we're chatting, and we make the turn, and he goes straight up the hill. And he's gone. And that's the way Darren does it. He will stop anywhere along the way. He is riding with anyone, but he is also the strongest rider we have. He is a tremendous ambassador for the Arthritis Foundation, has been. His passion for organization knows no bounds. His passion was so great that about 11 years ago, he convinced his now wife, Mary, to join and become a volunteer. Mary is a different spirit. She is incredibly dedicated, and she is willing to do the much, much harder work of being a volunteer. We get on our bikes and we ride. We get in the morning, we drop our bags off, and then we ride. And then people give us food, and they take care of us. And we come in, and they're ringing bells, like you saw in the video that Mary had. And then there's the people like Mary, who have to get that food there, and have to sit there and make thousands, literally thousands of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or rolling out all the snacks for us. And then at the end of the night, when we're rolling in and starting to kick up and maybe having an adult beverage, they're still working. So I can't begin to tell you how just in awe I am of Mary and all she does, and of Darren and his 18 years. And I would like you all to please give them a warm congratulations. Darren and Mary. Please get in your way. Hold on.
All right. Thank you for this honor. It really means a lot. I speak for Mary as well, and I really believe that the honor is ours to be part of this group, this family. And that's what the CCC really is, a family. And you see it with the way that riders just bond out there on the road. They bond for every reason you can think of. They ride for the cause, they bond for the cause, they bond for each other. They bond because they want to be out here making a difference for the Arthritis Foundation. And it's my pleasure to be part of that, to help encourage them, to show them, let them know they're making a difference. All right.
Excellent.
All right. Actual volume. And if you know that for me, this is yelling. Very soft-spoken. But this is something I'm very passionate about, as is all the rest of our riders. On the CC, or the California Coast Classic, we have a mantra, and we start out the day with it, and that is, we're riding for a cure. And that's what we are doing. We're riding for a cure. And inevitably, somebody along the way is going to say, when are you going to stop riding, Darren? You've been doing this for now 18 years. And I tell them, when we find a cure. Thank you.
Inspirational. I have another person that I need you to know. You already know her, actually, but you don't maybe know the inspirational stories that I know. Adrienne Rubin, when she was maybe a little bit older than I was at the time, maybe a lot older, she's proud of it, so she'll let me tell you. When she was 69, she decided she wanted to ride 525 miles for a cure. And so she bought a bike, and she got on that bike. And 3 weeks before she was supposed to complete that ride, the first time, she fell and broke a couple of ribs. And she went ahead and rode anyway. Now, along the way, this has been several years now that Adrienne has done this, and she's ridden with us again and again. She, in her indomitable spirit, keeps riding and keeps fundraising. She is a force of nature when it comes to both, and especially into fundraising. She will turn to her friends and say, "You are going to donate to me." And they do. Honestly, if she said that to any one of you, I think you would. I don't know how to say no to Adrienne. What I do know, though, is that Adrienne is an inspiration to all of us. Anyone who says, "I can't," Adrienne says, "Yes, you can." Please join me in welcoming to the stage Adrienne Rubin.
So great to see everybody here. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my husband, Stan. Of course, he has been involved for decades. And just because of him, I thought, okay, I'll come to arthritis events. And at one of these events, I heard about the California Coast Classic. It was 2009, actually. In 2010, I thought, maybe I should get a bike. Maybe I could start fundraising and training. The ride was going to be in September, and it was already July. But my birthday was in August, perfect time to buy myself a birthday present. Thank you. I got a great road bike. I had no idea I could even do the ride, nor did I expect to pass raising the $10,000 I raised that first year. But I just kept asking for donations. I asked a second time or a third time. If I got no response, I sent each individual on my list emails, personal letters, and self-addressed stamped return envelopes. And of course, a form to fill out that said at the top, yes, I want to help Adrienne Rubin in her fundraising effort. I also included a photo with me and my bike and a caption, I will pedal 525 miles to earn your respect and every dollar you donate. Never mind that I didn't actually pedal every single mile. I did my best. People did respond, and if they didn't, I sent out another email or another letter, this time with a self-addressed, unstamped return envelope that said, maybe you didn't see this, or perhaps you simply forgot. But children with arthritis never forget that they have it. So my totals so far are well over $300,000. Thank you. But as I said, I could not do this without my husband, Stan, who is my staunch supporter and throws in quite a bit of money whenever he can. Just think about this one thing. All together, look at the difference we can make if we just send out letters and ask.
Thanks so much, Adrienne, and to Darren and Mary and Dennis. Thank you all so much. Now we have a couple more special guests who have an amazing story to tell you about living their yes despite the challenges they faced. Actually, Emily Mogul and her mother Cindy first shared their story with us 7 years ago. Emily was 2 years old when she was diagnosed with systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis. With medication, her symptoms subsided for a short time, but then came raging back at age 8. Fortunately, a new drug restored hope for Emily and her family, and we caught up with them in 2011, right after that year's JA conference, after Emily had bounced back at the age of 10. Watch this short video clip.
All of my joints and sometimes even my muscles because I have systemic.
I felt hopeless. The current treatment wasn't working.
People refer it to an old people disease, and it kind of really is. You feel like a 90-year-old literally.
She had terrible side effects from the steroids. She gained almost 40 pounds. 9 months after the beginning of the second episode, she required a wheelchair. So I remember getting the script and having to go to the pharmacy. And the medical supply department, and to pick that up. So that was a real, reality check.
So you could tell, kind of hard to imagine what an unsettling time that must have been for them. But the Mogul family rose above it all. And now Emily, who is 18, raises her voice for the arthritis community every chance she gets. So ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted that Emily and her mother Cindy have joined us this evening, and Emily will also perform for us on the keyboard a tune called River Flows Through You. So please, welcome to the stage, Emily and Cindy Mogul.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's been 7 years, but those moments still get to me. But it's truly an honor to be here tonight. As our biggest supporters, Ryan and I are happy to accompany Emily, our young champion. And I assure you, this girl standing before you is the same girl in that video. That clip, produced in 2011, was part of the Arthritis Foundation's Key to the Cure program. The video, titled Emily's Story, details our family's experience with her second episode of systemic type juvenile arthritis. It's amazing to think about what's transpired in those 7 years. The road was not always easy, but as you will hear, despite it all, the outlook is positive. Thank you for this opportunity to share her yes story. Her yes story began, like most of them do, in those feelings of hopelessness and the reality check that hit us when we picked up that wheelchair. Thankfully, we had a doctor who heard our pleas. Emily's rheumatologist wasted no time and petitioned for compassionate use of a trial biologic. After just the first infusion, Emily felt different. Within 2 months, her blood levels, which had been off the charts, were within normal limits, and the steroids were no longer needed. It was a treatment miracle. In 2014, Emily was placed into non-medicated remission and remains in remission today. Now, the realist in me is not going to tell you that her recovery was a cakewalk. Her rehabilitation had its setbacks. Through it all, she had to quit activities that she loved and was home taught at school for a year. We needed something to offset the negative. We turned to the Arthritis Foundation. I can say with complete certainty that our involvement has opened up to a world of opportunities for Emily, and your work, as you will hear, has its roots in her future ambitions. Despite the medical adversity, she learned to persevere, and persevere she did. She wasted no time catching up for lost time. Her list of accomplishments is every parent's brag sheet. She is a talented artist and plays piano. She excels academically and is in 6 national honor societies. She even found her place on the high school's field hockey team as the manager. Every fall for the last 4 years, Emily organizes and leads her Moguls on a Mission team in monthly fundraisers in support of the annual Jingle Bell Run. To date, the team has raised more than $23,000 for a cure. This year, she is ecstatic to serve as the young adult honoree for the inaugural Gaithersburg Jingle Bell Run on December 8th. Now, when Emily felt that her efforts to expand juvenile arthritis awareness needed to be broader, she sought a local title in the Miss America organization with juvenile arthritis awareness as her platform. In March, she was crowned Miss Potomac's Outstanding Teen and went on to place in the top 10 at Miss Maryland's Outstanding Teen Scholarship Program in June. Ryan and I credit her resiliency to the incredible support that she has received from family, friends, doctors, our community, and the Arthritis Foundation. Emily's going to share her firsthand perspective on how you are helping her live an empowered life. Ryan and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the pivotal role you've played in her yes story. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm so ecstatic to be here tonight. Yes, I was that girl in the video that said it was an old people's disease and that you feel like a 90-year-old. I'm sorry. I want to thank my mom for always telling my story beautifully and appreciate both of my parents for being here tonight and of course for being there for me always. While my battle with juvenile arthritis has been a difficult one, it has attributed to a meaningful life purpose for me. I like to believe that my arthritis and Champion of Yes story began at the 2011 Advocacy Summit, my first of many Arthritis Foundation events. For the first time, I met kids who experienced the same challenges as me. I finally felt that I was not alone. Through meeting with congressional leaders who had the power to influence change, I was inspired to seek a leadership role within student government. I am now Urbana High School's Student Government Association president, and I actively lobbied to bring the first Walk to Cure Arthritis to Frederick, Maryland through Frederick County Superintendent's Cup. Thank you. Just wait. This means that every middle and high school in Frederick County will be fundraising for the Arthritis Foundation and spreading awareness that kids get arthritis too. You're all welcome to join us at the inaugural walk in spring of 2019. Just 2 years ago, in 2017, the setbacks my mom mentioned previously were especially significant. I was wheelchair-bound for 6 months, my sophomore year of high school. I was again prescribed steroids and was newly diagnosed with polyarticular arthritis and osteoarthritis. I more than needed a pick-me-up. Cue the Houston JA conference. I met lifelong friends and was reminded again that I was not alone. While we are miles apart, we frequently seek comfort and understanding from each other through our Snapchat group chat. Say that 3 times fast. Hearing their personal struggles with access to care, their painful day-to-day lives, and the impact that this disease has had on their mental health impressed upon me more than ever that the fight for a cure must continue. While I wish childhood illnesses did not exist, I know my experience has molded me into the person I am today, and I would not change it for the world. Despite not knowing what my future with a chronic disease holds, I plan to pursue a degree in nonprofit leadership and management, something the Arthritis Foundation has really... My forever mission will be to continue to serve and support others so that they may also live their best yes life. Thank you.
When Emily had to be more sedentary, she focused on a few great hobbies, which included drawing and playing piano. So tonight, just sit back and relax. She continues these hobbies today, and tonight she's going to play A River Flows in You by Yuruma.
Emily, you are so gifted. It sounded fantastic. Don't you guys think? Thank you for sharing your talent with us tonight. We really appreciate Emily and her mom joining us tonight to inspire, encourage, and give all of us a reminder to never give up. Well, I'm kind of depressed at this point because my role as Evening of Honors host has come to a close. I want you to know that it has been an incredible honor and a privilege for me to be here with you tonight. The arthritis community has always been so warm and welcoming, and I cannot emphasize enough the role that the Arthritis Foundation has played in my life personally. So thank you for being there for me and for being here with me this evening. And now for this evening's grand finale, the Charles B. Harding Award for Distinguished Service. It's the moment we've all been waiting for tonight. And to get that underway, I'm going to turn the reins over to last year's Harding Award recipient, Mr. Daniel T. McGowan. Dan?
I guess I'm going to need my glasses after all. But while I'm getting them, two things, I'm not with you guys quite as frequently as I used to be, but two things occur to me as I'm sitting in these meetings, which I've been to many, many times. And one is just how good it is to be with other really good people. And listening to the stories tonight, seeing all of you, you're just good people, so that's great. Second thing is how important research and advocacy are to changing the world, changing people's lives. So thank you for what you do for that. And thank you, Pete. We don't feel slighted at all. You were fantastic tonight. We will be forever grateful, and maybe we'll see you back, I hope. I was very honored and grateful to receive the Harding Award a year ago. And tonight, I'm thrilled to pass that honor along to another passionate Arthritis Foundation volunteer. The Charles B. Harding Award for Distinguished Service was established in 1976 as a tribute to one of our best and brightest volunteer leaders. Each year, we honor the person who exemplifies the highest standards of care and commitment in the fight against arthritis. Recipients of this award inspire each of us to keep striving to live our best life as a champion of yes, through advocacy, science, and engaging our community of family and friends, healthcare professionals, and many others. Today, as we activate the new Live Yes Arthritis Network, we're expanding our horizons and growing our community exponentially. It is a great time to belong to this community and to be part of this great organization. We're very honored that several past Harding Award recipients could join us this evening, and it's my pleasure to ask many of them to join me on the podium tonight. So please come up as I call your name. First, our 1988 Harding Award recipient, Stan Rubin. 1989 recipient, Kitty Farrell. Our 2002 recipient, Deborah Lappin. The 2003 Harding recipient was Bill Mulvihill. The 2005 Harding Award recipient, Lee Callahan. Our 2007 recipient, John Colson. 2010 Harding Award recipient, Jim Louie. Dr. Louie. 2011 recipient, Pam Massey, who looks fabulous. 2013 Harding Award recipient, Seal Parrish. 2014 fellow recipient, Bing Cheng. 2015 Harding Award recipient, Jana Lee Taylor. And our 2016 recipient, Colleen Ryan. I'm very proud to be standing here this evening with this group. As you can tell, this is quite a group. I'm also saddened to report that one of our alumni passed away yesterday. Tom Murphy, who received the Harding Award in 2008. And please join me for a moment of silence as we remember Tom and his fine work for the foundation. I was hoping that the picture that I'm looking at down here would be something you were seeing too, because you'll all remember him referring to his wife for so many years as her loveliness. And they won this award together, and what a contribution they made. We send our condolences to Tom's family, and we thank all of them and remember him for his work. And I thank all of you for being with us this evening. I will excuse you. You know, I had to practice not saying he or she, but always saying them together because, as you know, that's our tradition. This year's recipient of the Harding Award for Distinguished Service is among the Arthritis Foundation's most outstanding volunteers. She or he demonstrates exceptional qualities that fuel the Arthritis Foundation's mission. When I think of this person, two words always come to mind. The first is commitment, and the second is enthusiasm. And many of you will know who I'm talking about when I say that. This volunteer is always all in. He or she has gone above and beyond to show how much we can accomplish and who challenges each of us to always find ways to meet that challenge and to give more, to do more, to be more for the foundation. Now I'm going to start being a little more specific. He or she has been part of the Arthritis Foundation family for nearly 2 decades. and has offered support to countless individuals and families throughout the years. This special honoree, he or she, has walked the walk and talked the talk. All in, always all in. This volunteer sets the stage for where we are today. He's an innovative thinker, she's an innovative thinker, who's extremely energetic, who is focused, innovative, and strategic. Thank you. More than anything else, in describing him or her, what keeps coming up is the voice of reason, calming, I don't know always, not always calming, but largely calming, a joy for life, very noticeable, and someone who says, first and foremost, think of our mission. I'll stop there and reveal this year's honoree through our normal video. I guess you know who it is. You know, like many of you, I've seen so many emails and followed so closely his son Daniel's life that I felt like I knew him before I met him at this meeting. And I told him he's very noticeable that he still has hair. And I told him to tease his father and make sure that his father understands that that's how he used to look. Before he joins me on stage, I want to tell you a little bit more about this evening's honoree, who now you know is the one and only Michael V. Ortman. It's almost beyond words to describe how committed Michael is to this cause and to the Arthritis Foundation. He's unabashed in his support, his generous money, time, you name it. Michael actually almost embarrasses me. I felt like I was a pretty active volunteer, but he, you know, being with Michael just embarrasses you and makes you want to do more. He's naturally born with compassion, great sense of humor. His passion was and is sports. Everything from hockey to baseball, golf to wrestling. He had a lot of great professional achievements before ultimately landing at Comcast for the past 20 years. He talked me into using Comcast, and now I just bemoan the fact that I can't get it any longer. When you meet Michael, you feel like you've known him forever. And that's seriously, some of you probably met him for the first time at this meeting, and it's like you knew him a long time ago. He lives with a smile on his face. I've never seen a guy more committed to the organization, to his family, to his wife. Even though there have been tough periods and his son Daniel struggled with his JA, often immobilized. Through it all, Michael wanted to fix things. So he got involved with the association, the foundation, and we are very lucky for that. Michael chaired the Arthritis Foundation's board of directors for 2 years. Ann Palmer praises Michael's leadership, saying he helped move our organization forward like no one else could have at the time. Perhaps his greatest contribution to the cause of the Arthritis Foundation was his role in making us one single organization. to sustain the foundation and to serve the best financial needs of our people, and to put our resources where we knew we had to put them. He was also instrumental in unifying and amplifying the JA community, re-energizing our relationship with Kara, and galvanizing the community. He thinks outside the box. He's an extraordinary leader. He's a gifted collaborator and a unifier. I can remember Michael when I was chair and he was vice chair. He was in a wheelchair and came from here to New York to meet with me at the Comcast offices. One of his daughters accompanied him, and he was leading the way. He's absolutely devoted husband of Kate Ortman and the father of 6 children. You saw them in the picture, 3 of them joining the family through adoption. And he and Kate now have 6 grandchildren. Though dedicated to his career and to charity, Michael puts family first. And next, he puts others first. He stretches himself and also pushes others to do the same thing. In summary, he represents the true heart of the association, the foundation. He's the real deal. His outlook on life, his ability to turn negatives into positives, and to get people of the same ilk to join him and to be on the same page. Those are such admirable qualities. And he's very constant. He's a very consistent guy. He sets the bar higher. He's such a rare individual that we're fortunate and proud to welcome Michael to the roster of other Harding Award recipients. I also want to mention that Comcast has always been very supportive of Michael's volunteer work with the Arthritis Foundation, as well as supportive of his family needs. I remember going to the NBC building that time, and we met with whoever Michael wanted us to meet with. To pass along their kudos, Michael, we want to share a special message from the head honcho of Comcast Cable, CEO Dave Watson.
It's an honor to congratulate Mike on receiving the highest honor the Arthritis Foundation gives for service by a volunteer. The award goes to people who unselfishly devote their time to help others, and I can't imagine anyone more deserving. Mike, we couldn't be more proud of the contributions you've made to this important organization. You and your family know firsthand what living with arthritis is like. Your family and your son Daniel have gone through a lot, and you've beaten the toughest obstacles as they came your way. At Comcast, we put family first, and you have been an inspiration to all of us. We are proud of that, and we're so proud of you, for your leadership, for setting a great example for all you do for people with arthritis, and for being an exemplary humanitarian who truly cares about others. Congratulations, Mike.
Michael, will you please join me on stage?
I guess I have to thank a few people. Thank all of you. If you'll bear with me, I know it's late, but I got a couple of thank yous I gotta do, and then there's a story that's been swirling around in my head this year that I think is appropriate to share tonight. First and foremost, it's been said a lot that we have this new Arthritis Foundation. I want to tell you that began 5 years ago when Dan McGowan took leadership of guiding us into a future full of change. And he had the wisdom, and I was looking at that list up on the wall, to pick an awful lot of those people to be honored to serve on a committee that worked as a volunteer-led initiative all that summer. Picking people like Seal Parrish to chair that committee and people like Janet Lee Taylor to serve on it. I was honored to be on it with Dr. Bing Chang, Deborah Lappin, all names you just saw up there. And that group of volunteers came together that summer, made a recommendation to the board, and they voted unanimously to make Ann Palmer the President and Chief Executive Officer of this organization. Ann, thank you for being a great staff partner in my time. Ann was one of my arthritis wives. The real wife, a lot was said earlier tonight about those people that sacrifice so much to let the rest of us do our thing with the Arthritis Foundation. And Kate, for 35 years, 2 weeks from now, it'll be 35 years of marriage. More than half of it we've spent with the Arthritis Foundation. But when Daniel was younger and needed someone to lead the care, you did, in spite of the fact that you were homeschooling all 6 of our kids. And you were such an inspiration to so many people you didn't know, because they got to know you because I was able to tell them what an amazing wife you were and what an amazing mother you were and what an amazing caregiver you were with Daniel. So Kate, thank you for everything you've done the last 18 years. And one more, Dan. You know, when we named Dan's Fans after you, what, 10, 12 years ago when we started in the Jingle Bell Run, you weren't terribly happy about it because you just were a teenager that didn't want that, right? But here we are. You have not only inspired me and Mom in the way you've conducted yourself through all the pain and all the struggles, and brain surgery had nothing to do with arthritis, and all the biologics you've succeeded with and then struggled past and moved on to the next one, and all the different therapies you've tried. You have inspired not only me and Mom, but people you don't even know and people all over this room. Daniel, thank you. So some of you know I went to Notre Dame, and thank you, yes. And one of our football coaches there was Lou Holtz, and he won a national championship 30 years ago. Maybe we're going to do it again this year. What do you think, Dennis? Yeah. And Lou Holtz is retired now from broadcasting at ESPN, but he tells a story in one of his stump speeches he makes as a motivational speaker, graduation speaker, about the 4 things you need in life to have a whole life. And I've listened to that many times. And he says that you need 4 things. You need to have something to do. You need to have something to believe in. You need to have something to hope for. And you need to have someone to love. And when I hear him say that, I think of the Arthritis Foundation, because in some way, shape, or form, that fills one, more, or all of those voids in each of our lives. Does it give us something to do? You bet. And if you need something to do and you don't have something to do, just ask the nearest staff member near you. Ann Palmer would be happy to help you out. You'd have something to believe in. I hope each of us believe deeply and passionately in the mission of the Arthritis Foundation, to help and support people in need, to advocate for access to care for those who can't advocate for themselves, to invest in scientific discovery to change the world, and to wrap our arms in a special way around those JA families. Something to hope for, you bet. We hope for a cure for each and every form of arthritis and rheumatic disease that's under our big umbrella. And someone to love. Someone talked earlier tonight about the love of the Arthritis Foundation family, and it is very real. As many of you know, we lost our youngest daughter, Teresa, suddenly back in January. And it's at times like that your family and friends rally around you. The Ortman family, the DeMarco family, the Comcast family, and yes, the Arthritis Foundation family. And we were overwhelmed with the volume of letters and cards and meals and donations. But I have to tell you, the very first card came from Dennis Ealing on the board of the Arthritis Foundation. And when our daughter-in-law Holly set up a meal train online, the very first person to jump on the meal train was Kate Kuhns and her daughter Delaney in Roanoke, Virginia, JA family. And on Sunday afternoon, we had a viewing for Teresa, and started late. And when the curtain opened, the very first people Kate and I saw were Steve and Liz Smith, the same couple that welcomed us into the Arthritis Foundation family 18 years ago. And the next day, we get to the church early, figuring we'll beat the crowd. First one in the church was Ann Palmer. That's the love of a family. So before we give Coach Holtz too much credit for being the brilliant philosopher, let's be real clear. He borrowed that from the New Testament, and we've all heard it before. In the end, there are three things that will last: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Thank you for 18 years of love, and thank you for this wonderful award. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It was very nice, very lucky to have this happen here because his family's so close by. So will Michael's family please join us?
Okay, I'll put you back there. I missed one somewhere. I did miss one.
All right, well, I'll make this quick, I promise, but when the older ones here were younger, we got looked at in the grocery store in a lot of different ways. Sit down, please. I'm just going to take, there's a few people up here. I'm going to tell you who they are. The older ones will remember that when we were in the grocery store, we get a lot of interesting comments. People would say the rudest things and the strangest things, like, do you own a daycare center? Are they all yours? And Daniel might be in his wheelchair, and then they would walk up and say, what's wrong with him? And we had a rule. If you asked about one, you had to hear about all. And it quieted them down. But so let me see if I can do this quickly, how best to do this. Let's try mine, hers, and ours, and theirs. And it's pretty easy to keep track. I'm one of 6 children. Let me start with mine. I'm one of 6 children. 2 have already gone on to heaven, and 2 are in poor health and could not be here, I'm sure. But my sister Madeline, who is also my godmother, Madeline Ortman, came down from Wilmington, Delaware. Thank you for being here. Kate, who you heard about earlier, she's also one of 6. By the way, of the 6 DeMarco kids and their 6 spouses, of those 12 people, 7 went to Notre Dame. My brother-in-law, Ed, and his beautiful wife, Garland. So welcome there from Silver Spring, Maryland. So now on to ours. The oldest, where is he? Right here. Brad, there you are. On Veterans Day weekend, I think it's appropriate to welcome Army Major Brad Ortman. Thank you. I'm guessing his amazing wife, who is a nurse, is working, I'm sure. Where's Mommy, girls? I think she's sleeping. You think she's sleeping? Yes. Don't we all wish? And their beautiful daughters, Charlotte and Ellie. Number 2, Patrick Ortman. Patrick is, and his beautiful wife, Kate, Lieutenant Commander Kate Ortman. Let's honor you on Veterans Day weekend, too. Patrick's a financial planner who has got the most impressive incentives. See, he manages our money, and if he screws it up, he's got to take care of us when we're old. That'll motivate you to take care of Dad's money. And they have 4 wonderful sons. One is hiding back there. Johnny is 8, and I'm guessing, Johnny, your brother's home sleeping? Yeah, that's a good idea. Johnny, thank you for coming and staying up so late. Number 3, Daniel. I think we've said enough about Daniel already tonight. And number 4 is Greg over here. Now, Greg. Greg, people in this room are all about easing people's pain. Greg is about inflicting pain. He's a personal trainer. And he's working on finishing up his degree in health science. So, Greg, good to see you. And his beautiful fiancée, Jessica Lewis. is a research coordinator right here in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins. So we've got the little, there you go. See? And continuing, and Mary, it is a shock to see you here tonight. She just moved to Florida a month ago. So good to see you back. And safe travels, love. Great to see you. Did I cover everybody? Yep. Wow. Except Teresa. Thanks for everything, sweetheart. We've done the Dance Fans is this year a special edition. Daniel has decided to devote this year's Jingle Bell Run to his sister in her memory. I'm wearing Jingle Bell Run socks, Steve. But Dan's Fans T-Baby Edition has a wonderful story on it. And Daniel, I said earlier that you've inspired people you don't even know. This week, Dan's Fans got a donation from someone. They got their thank you note, and they wrote right back, and they said, I needed some inspiration this week, and so I wanted to go read Daniel's story again. And they went on Dan's Fans page, and there it was, and a beautiful tribute not only to the journey you've traveled, Daniel, but also to your sister, Teresa. So enough of this. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. One more. All right. I'll get up. Where's Kate? I'll be in the back, as
Well, congratulations, Michael, as you move off the stage. I don't really know what to say to Mike since we've heard so much, but as we were waiting to come in tonight and we were talking about this time a year ago and what he wanted, he said to me, Ann, hurry up. And I think for me, that just sums up Mike. Every time I'm with him, he just tells me to hurry up. And he's certainly been a great partner. Well, I want to congratulate Michael again and to acknowledge all of our esteemed Harding Award recipients who are here tonight. You're a great inspiration to us, and your passion for the Arthritis Foundation work really is so inspiring to all of us. So thank you to each of our Harding Award winners who are here tonight. And thank you, Dan, for all the work that you've done tonight in getting us going. So I also want to congratulate all of our award recipients. It's been a great evening, maybe a little bit long, but certainly very inspirational. For me, certainly very inspirational. And you all are among the best of the best, and we really appreciate the great evening that we've had and you sharing your stories with us and the opportunity to honor each of you. I'd like to again express my gratitude to Lily for sponsoring our evening tonight, and also to all of our other partners and those that help make this conference possible. Especially to our entertainment. We had some great entertainment tonight, and I want to thank everyone for that. Really, we went from piano to all over the place, so it was a great evening. And again, thanks to Pete. Really appreciate you being here with us tonight, and you had a long haul and you did a great job. So in closing, I have a few quick housekeeping announcements. Always have to have this at the end, right? So we're going to take some more photographs outside of our honorees right out front here. These will include our Harding Award winners, so please make yourself available for that. And then we're going to invite everyone to come downstairs to the Apropos, and that's the bar downstairs in the lobby, and we're willing to treat everyone to a drink and to continue our frivolity and celebration remembering that we're back tomorrow morning at 8:30. So I look forward to seeing you in the morning, and thanks for a great evening. Good night.